All right, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Dano Crypto. I feel like when I start, the camera is like off center. Okay, I think we're good. All right, let's go. All right. We're going to let this beat play out a little bit longer. Let's go. Jam it, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, ding the bell to be notified, turn the volume up, get your coffee, get your tea, get your creatine. We've been a little low on our creatine intake. I think that's probably why we've been feeling a little bit more tired recently, maybe a little bit more sore. We were up in the game on the creatine. Creatine so white it was thinking about colonizing the entire area. So what's going on, my friends and degenerate crypto enthusiasts? So today we're going to be talking about the market volatility. We're going to be talking about how crypto is kind of the obvious place for retail to be right now, even though they don't have any money. So we're going to break down why retail doesn't have any money right now, why they're not actually investing, and why the big money's coming in before we do. Well, it's because a lot of the times the knowledge is power, and also the big money, the rich people, the families, they always pass down this information about investing, and also about not actually even keeping their money in dollars, but acquiring assets and learning about how to compound their investments. Now, this is usually passed down in rich families because that's just the nature of the access of knowledge. Now, and information. So the information now is wildly available. It's right in front of our faces. We have the institutions. Basically telling us with the writings on the wall that they are moving on chain. And there's really no other place for them to go because of the nature of the fiat system crumbling right before our eyes. And so I think money has a natural evolution. If you think about the history of money, what types of money we've used, the different types of trade, all of this stuff is starting to come to a full head into a new financial revolution, which is going into the digital age. We had already been digitizing our fiat cash when it comes to displaying it on these screens and in a type of way where we're representing it in a digital form tied to the fiat piece of paper. But guess what, guys? A lot of that has just been numbers on a screen, and the whole system is a damn scam. So big money knows this. They use the stock market to be able to get a return, and so the value of their dollar doesn't continue to go down and their purchasing power goes down. They have to be able to make that cash. So if you made $50,000 in the year and inflation is up 10%, it's not 2.5%. That's gun to your head, 2.5%. Well, it's more than 2.5%. Speaking of percentages, Benjamin Cohen said 94.5% of the people that watch my YouTube channel are male. I mean, that's a given. That's like our channel. I think if we were to go to the average percentage of male viewers to female viewers, I'd be very curious to see. I think it's about the same. So let's actually go and check this out. Let's go to YouTube Studio, and we are going to go to analytics, audience, and over. Let's check this. Hold on. Okay, So, over the past 28 days, we have had a monthly audience of 8,000 people. So, that's pretty awesome. So, man, 8,000 people have been tuned in to the channel over the past month, and we've gotten 51 subscribers. So, it's not too bad. That's not too bad. Wellborg said, please don't talk about Mr. Cohen. No, we love Benjamin Cohen. We honestly, I got to give Benjamin Cohen credit for getting us to start to pay attention to dominance more. Start to pay attention to Bitcoin dominance, start to pay attention to, the ETH to BTC ratio or altcoins ratios to Bitcoin. It's really helped us to understand why the market kind of moves the way it does and why ETH even was able to do what it's doing. It kind of gave us a really nice key into really focusing on that. So yeah, shout out to Benjamin Cohen. All right, so let's see the audience. Where's the male to female ratio? Where's that at? Oh, here we go. Mine's even worse. Last 28 days has been 98% male, 1.4% female. So there's just one, two females watching. I think we do have one watching right now. We have Alexandra G. So shout out to Alexandra G. She's the mod of all mods. But yeah, good morning, everyone. Let's say hello to everyone who just came in right off the bat. You guys are amazing. Thank you for just right when we go live, you guys pop in and you make yourselves known, and you are just a part of this live stream experience. Then I am. You guys are a part of the show, and you are a part of the Dojo crew. So I want to give you guys a major shout out and show my appreciation for you. So we're gonna give a shout out to Stay Calm, Eric Espacino. He's Forever Eric Espacino. That's his Mexican flamenco artist name. Make sure to catch him in a city near you. We got Steve Rindle Jr. in the house. Let's go. We got Texas, big old Texas. Everything is bigger in Texas. Everything is bigger in Texas, in the heart of Texas. And then we got Dave Digital in the house. I told Dave Digital I have not seen him in weeks. So I said, you gotta show up. But we love Dave Digital. He is in the gym. He's lurking in the gym. I was about to say, yeah, so Dave Digital's been trying to get those gains. He's posting his meals. He's getting a lot of protein. I hope he's taking a lot of creatine as well. And you're getting some gains, my friend. So I don't know what your goals have been. Have you been just trying to get more muscle? You trying to lose some weight? What's your goal? I'll tell you my goal. I've been trying to. I just want to gain some weight. I'm on the side of not trying to lose weight. I need to bulk up because I'm kind of like a Brad Pitt in Fight Club kind of. I'm not as freaking cut and shredded, but I'm super lean. Super lean. So I gotta eat like an entire cow and start lifting more kettlebells. I think that's what we have to start doing. So. But let me know if you guys are in the gym as well, pumping your arms and also hopefully pumping your bags. But make sure you guys are sharing this live stream. You're hitting that like button. Everyone in here right now, make sure you do not forget to hit that like button because we have to battle that shadow ban algorithm. It's terrible. And just want to give a shout out to all the people who are watching across all of the platforms as well. And so let's get into it. So basically, topic of discussion. Is altcoin season just around the corner? Well, I think it might be, but it's, we're going to obviously see the market chop around. We've basically hit all-time highs for Bitcoin recently. We hit $124,000 per Bitcoin. Let's see exactly where we peaked out. We peaked out right at 124,000. The CME chart for Bitcoin actually hit 125,000, but we were a little, I don't want to say sidelined. We knew we were going to get a pullback. We saw there was a pullback territory right here, but we forgot to look if there was any gaps in the price. And so the CME chart, if you guys don't know, the CME chart, and we will... that still says Bitstamp, but okay. If I wonder, Yeah, if you just type in BTC1 dash, or you just type in BTC CME on TradingView, then this will give you the chart that you'll be able to find where there's a gap in the price. So why there's a gap in a price, what is the significance, and why does this even happen? So the CME is basically a futures trading exchange where you basically as an institution can get exposure into the futures market and future price of Bitcoin. You can also do this with Ethereum, and now you can actually do it with Solana. So what ends up happening is that these orders, like an order book, get put in, orders are executed, and if orders have to clear for the day, some of those orders will not be filled. Some of them won't be filled, and the price actually will get away from itself and where those orders are put in, causing a gap in the price. So it's basically like saying, okay, we could potentially, and what happens is that the price will go, and 90% of the time, the gap will get filled in the next few days, almost to the dollar. It'll fill the gap with a candle. So for instance, this gap right here was between 116 and 113. It was filled. It ended up filling. So you see the gap was created in July. It filled in the beginning of August. Another gap was formed here when we had the run up to this all-time high, and we had a gap of 119 to 117. Now we are filling. Now we have actually fully filled the gap. If you look at the 4 hour, so the way that you can see these gaps too is by the 4 hour time frame and the daily time frame. The 4 hour time frame is where you're going to be able to really see what and where that gap was created. So the gap started at 117, gapped at 119, and now we have basically completely filled it. And now that we have filled it, we are right now bouncing off of the fillage of the gap here. We're bouncing off that fillage of the gap. There's still some support, and we said, on the previous live stream that we do have liquidity also sitting at these bottom ranges, which could give us a little bit more carnage in the market. It is not off the table that we could potentially back test that liquidity right there, and then we bounce up, and then we can kind of go into this, this new market structure. I mean, basically, it's going to go into new market structure, breaking these all-time highs. The next Fibonacci extension on the CME chart is actually 128,000. And on another one of our Bitcoin charts, if we can look and see which particular one it is, I think it's the Coinbase chart where we had the 1618 and the 2618. So we already crossed that first 1618. We said, look, we're gonna, that 1618, break that, no problem. But then the next one for the 2618 is going to be $133,000 per Bitcoin, and it's looking pretty solid. It's looking pretty solid. We have a bearish divergence here, kind of, like a bigger time framed bearish divergence. You can even see that like from there to those wick candles matches on the opposite correlation with the RSI. So signifying a little bit of a bearish divergence. And it's all good. No worries. No one's really late if they're showing up at all on the live stream. A wizard is never late. He arrives precisely when he means to. It's good to see you, lasers. It's good to see you. Okay, so let's get into breaking down where we could potentially see ETH breaking all-time highs, We just broke down where Bitcoin just broke its all-time highs and where we could be headed in the short term, even on the bearish case scenario of us going down and sweeping some of the liquidity lows, or we just continue and we bounce from where we just filled the gap. So that is where we could be headed for Bitcoin here in the short term. And then we have that price target that we're eyeing, bouncing off of this momentum. I think a lot will have to do with how much the ETF is going to be inflowing today to finish out the weekend. I mean, look, yesterday, interesting enough, we had BlackRock ponying up, but we had Fidelity in Bitwise and ARK Invest were selling. So they were actually selling while BlackRock was buying. And then if you go to Ethereum yesterday, we actually, I mean, it's just been insane. I mean, we basically have been inflowing a total of $6 billion in the past week. We've basically, in the past week, we have inflowed over $6 billion of inflows for the Ethereum ETF. And so the institutions are basically they're front running and ponying up for Ethereum's network effect to hit 10K. You know, that's like base case too for Ethereum to hit 10K. And how can that happen? Well, we have a lot of things that we could break down for it. There's multiple different indicators for how we could get a 10K ETH. There's ETH BTC ratio. If you look at this on the weekly, the best way to break down any of these altcoin macro charts is to look at them on the weekly, because then you can see where we had previous bull market support in 2017, where we've hit, you know, bull market resistance and support for 2017 and 2021 and 2020, 21. It just gives you a lot of data on how the market basically rotates liquidity from the biggest mover into the second next best mover, and then it kind of just trickles down, and we have this rotating cycle. I had a really, really funny drawing that I should try and find again. It was basically, you know, one of the best drawings I've ever done, but it was just an easy representation of a cyclical, you know, recycling system of how liquidity kind of just goes from one thing to the next, and then we do get injections of new money, but a lot of it is rotated during the cycles. So what's different, I think, about this cycle in particular, why it might be broken of the 4-year cycle, like we're going to have some of the same fundamentals of the 4-year cycle for Bitcoin, but the nature of the stablecoin narrative, which is injecting billions of dollars on chain into crypto, is another indication of how we could get a 10K ETH and also go into altcoin season. This, if we look at the total cryptocurrency market cap, this is how we end up getting to those crazy numbers of like Bitcoin being at 7 trillion, 10 trillion, and ETH being at, I mean, you got to think ETH is already getting very close to being worth $1 trillion. It's over a half a billion, you know, right now. 538 billion, 468,606,846 dollar market cap, and we have Bitcoin now sitting at a $2.3 trillion market cap. I think Bitcoin could easily hit a $7 trillion market cap with Ethereum going over $1 trillion and being close to 2 to 3. So these numbers are not far-fetched, and even going as far as saying the meme coins alone will be at a $1 trillion market cap. So my conservative price target for the total cryptocurrency market cap going into the next year is, I think even just by the end of this year, we could hit 7 trillion. I think that's a super bull case, you know, because I would be hitting it pretty early, I'd say. But I think once we start testing this line here, this 7 trillion line for total cryptocurrency market cap, we would be, I think in Q1 and Q2 next year, be at like a $10 trillion market cap. for total cryptocurrency market cap, like total value. You got to look at the nature of the stables coming into Ethereum. Ethereum is the chain that is going to be the top chain that's picked for stables. There's a lot of different things pushing the stablecoin narrative all across Wall Street, all of these big firms. We got the Trump World Liberty Financial. It has rung the bell this morning on the NASDAQ Open. They are really pushing the USD1 and the nature of the World Liberty financial protocol. They're really ponying up of getting into these markets, and retail's not here at all. This is all institutional driven price action. And so I just think about the next couple years when people just almost kind of have no choice but to be on chain, because that's just kind of their bank is going to be on chain. Everything will be incorporated in getting everyone to eventually start using stablecoins. And, you know, there are some people that have some theories, conspiracy theories, that this is how they're going to usher in, you know, the CBDC, like a silent CBDC where, you know, there's going to be one that they're going to primarily push for you to use. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like either way, the government's going to tell you what you and dictate like what you are going to take as a payment or currency, and they're going to and then have all these rules and regulations that go around it. But you as a business owner and you as just a person, it's just like, hey, if someone really liked this slow bro, if someone really liked this slow bro, and I really liked something that they had, and they decided that this was valuable to them, this slow bro, and and I want to give them this slow bro for said thing that I want, that they have. I know that's a barter, that's a trade, but you might as well call it a damn currency. So what we can do as retail collectively decide, I will take Bitcoin. I will take Pepe. I'll take whatever the hell you got. Hopefully it is, you know, stable. But it's really interesting that we as people and what we want to provide as products and services, and we can dictate what we want to take. We can give value to something. Doesn't have to be the government's. Doesn't have to be what they tell you is valuable. I think we've been on the right track of getting into these ecosystems to understand and start testing and realize that, wow, okay, we could create our own financial ecosystems, and we are. And we are choosing which ones we're putting our value and trust in, and we're trading and peer-to-peer, and that's kind of what Bitcoin was really all about. It's all about peer-to-peer digital cash system that can't be controlled, that can't be owned or bought, or the idea be sold by anyone or be represented by one entity. It's something that you just have to take part of and believe in, and then the network effect just kind of it operates itself. Oh, GK, I said I got wrecked. I got wrecked. But the difference though, see the difference of the value and the energy and the actual like backing behind this network, and why fiat cash is trash and why it does what it does, is because there's nothing really backing it besides the military industrial complex. And they tell you, if you don't use the system, we'll just put you in jail, you know? So So yeah, it's backed by fear that if you don't comply with the Federal Reserve and the IRS, then you go to jail. That's what it's backed by. It's backed by the might of the U.S. military, the dollar, and fiat currency. So you could say that, yes. And so with Bitcoin, it's a way that you're preserving the energy in the work that you've done because there's a limited supply. The tokenomics is you can't make any more. You can only mine it. And then once it's mined all out, that's it. And then whatever is circulated in the supply is what is circulated in the supply. That means there's no lot. There's lost Bitcoin. There's Bitcoin that'll never be seen again. There's Bitcoin that's burned or is in dead wallets. Can't be no key. There's lost keys, and you can't remake that Bitcoin. You can't redouble spend the Bitcoin. You can't say, oh well, there's 3 split transactions off of this. It's like no. So Bitcoin is a way that through, I think, a lot of really smart people understanding this during the financial crash and years back, probably in the 90s, where they were like, this is not looking too good, my friends. This money, it doesn't have any actual value to it besides it being a complete scam of wage slaving and a way to trap us. And so out of all that, Bitcoin was born. And so Bitcoin is all about energy. It really is all about energy. It's how to preserve energy because it takes energy to work, and you need to be able to preserve as much of your energy as possible. And so we do this through investing. And the big money has done it through the stock market, gold. They don't hold dollars. They've never hold dollars. They barely ever hold cash. And so now we know that now the institutions have now the trust, they have the history of the price action and the adoption of Bitcoin. They're like, okay, we're gonna let this thing go for some and go for some years. We're gonna steal some of it. We're going to steal some of it and hold it just in case. So we just got to do the same. We just got to know that whatever it may be, which really I think it's crypto. You know, me and my wife were talking, you know, we have some money that we want to invest, and you know, and she was like, well, we should put it in a Roth IRA. And I said, yeah, we could do that. But when you break down the numbers of a Roth IRA only giving you 7% on the year over year, and yeah, it's not taxable, but at the same time, if inflation is up 10% year over year, which it really has, they say it's 2.5 or 3%, but it's really not. It's like out of control because by the inflated prices of basic goods that we just have to buy to survive, which is food, it's like you have to be making more than 10% on your money. You have to. Oh, yeah, that is funny. Yeah, GK. Yeah, Besant was, so he backtracked and they were saying, oh, we're not planning on buying Bitcoin for the reserve. And then he came back and said, no, actually, excuse me, we are. Yeah, no, I think they're just playing games. Don't, guys, the mainstream media, they have issues. They have problems. The mainstream media does not know what they're talking about. They really don't. Like, honestly, like us content creators and the people that live stream, we know more what the hell is going on. No, Dave Digital, absolutely not. No, my wife is a gem. She's actually been very supportive of me being a crypto person or investing in crypto. I mean, it's been definitely a journey for sure. Cause like she's just been like, well, I haven't seen any results. She's like, where are the results? We've invested thousands, and it seems like we still have the same amount that you told me 3 years ago. And then she doesn't realize, like, she kind of realizes what happened in the 2.5 year bear market where everyone basically like died in a hole. It was bad. It was really tough to just sit and do nothing, you know. So that's the thing. It's like you got to just do nothing. That's usually the best thing, is doing nothing, you know. But during that time, it was really hard to just do nothing, and that's always the thing. All you had to do was nothing. All you had to do was absolutely nothing, and we didn't do that. We did too much. But okay, let's get through that. Let's get through the news, and then we're gonna go through some more charts. We're going to break down some thesis. We're gonna break down the thesis. We're gonna do a portfolio breakdown. We're gonna have AI analyze our portfolio picks of what we have and how it grades it in terms of diversification, risk management, allocation, and we're going to see what score we get. And we're going to see if that also aligns with how you guys have been allocating your portfolio. Are you being super degen and have like 60% alts, no Bitcoin, only ticker Bitcoin? I don't know what you're doing, but we're going to be talking about that today. All right, so let's get into a little bit of the news. Let's watch some clips. We're going to have the SEC chair, Paul Atkins, says, we are mobilizing to make America the crypto capital of the world. Okay, so this is on Fox Business. I believe this was today. Yeah, so let's watch this clip. Make sure you guys hit that like button too. Make sure you're sharing the live stream. Make sure you're putting emojis in the chat and stuff like that. Make sure everything sounds good, looks good. Just a second. I'm trying to get my chat up on the screen. Okay. Yeah, I know.
So a couple of weeks ago, the administration issued the President's Working Group's report on digital assets in the United States, and there were clear directions to the SEC. We're part of the PWG, that President's Working Group, and clear recommendations for us to go forward and help make what the President has announced, his intention to make America the crypto capital of the world and have the world run on American technology. So we're mobilizing at the SEC all our different divisions and offices to focus on making that announcement become reality. So that's with our corporation finance division, investment management, and others.
Shout out to Litecoin. So we're gonna get into it. So when we start getting into the altcoins, we're going to talk about how Litecoin is a kind of like an oscillating indicator for when we're gonna be in an altcoin season. You know, that's really like what a lot of us in crypto are wondering, like, when are the alts gonna really pump? Because we have seen them in the past do this. It's not like altcoin seasons are this rare unicorn that that just like only shows up every 10 years or something like that. It's like we have had altcoin seasons in each bull market, in each bull run. Different breakthroughs in technology, different narrative where it was like ICOs, new companies, more the smart contracts with Ethereum and BNB and Binance Smart Chain and all that stuff. Then you go into the next market cycle, which is going into the DeFi summer. And so we've had altcoin seasons. It's not a rare thing, and it's okay to call for one. It's just the nature of how the market works is like we're gonna get eyes on Bitcoin, then we get eyes on Ethereum, and then once Ethereum, now that we're in this new market structure for ETH where it will start to get into that new territory, which we've talked about, that 5,700 level, that's when you're going to start seeing, tailwinds of the altcoin season coming in. So let's continue to watch this video.
What we can do to make the regulations of the SEC encompass the crypto assets and also make it so that people can have some clarity going forward. We're working with Congress. Obviously, the Genius Act was enacted here a few.
And what's so funny is like, this is why Gary was always given a hard time, because if Gary was here, he would be like, well, we'll see, what you have to understand is that in 1945, we established in the SEC the ability to regulate these markets and that market, and we had to protect the American investor from people that were fraudulent, and we really wanted to make sure the American people were protected. So in 1942, we established this, and what was your question again? And he never answers the question. He always just like doesn't actually, just like circles around and like we'll say, well,
weeks ago with a big announcement at the White House by the president himself, and as he signed it, so that I thought was a very good step forward. And now there are other bills in Congress that are being considered, and when they return from their recess, I look forward to much more forward progress.
All right, so that's a message from Mr. Paul Atkins. And then talking about the Senate and talking about legislation, we're going to bring up here Cynthia Lumis. Senator Lumis says President Trump is supporting her bill to buy 1 million Bitcoin. And so how are they going to buy the Bitcoin? What are they going to use to buy the Bitcoin? Are they going to use tariff revenue? Are they going to use, tax revenue? Are they going to use our money? Are they going to take our Bitcoin? Oh, well, I think they're going to use the gold. I think they're going to start selling gold and buying Bitcoin. And so let's see what she says.
President Trump's support of my strategic Bitcoin reserve initiative, which will address our national debt while securing America's position as the global leader in financial innovation. As Bitcoin comes into more usage, its use makes the whole system more secure, more robust, and more capable of serving our needs all over the world. We should be the global leader with this fantastic new ledger-based asset that is in a digital format that is going to be transformative of everyday economy and puts the everyday American, in fact, the everyday worker all over the world in control of their own money. What a wonderful blessing for hardworking people all over the world to have this.
And it's funny, all the bankers and all the people that are like, when they hear people that are like pro freedom and pro like having people be sovereign over their own assets and their wealth and not be controlled, they go like this. And and they start freaking out. They can't fathom the fact that they are going to lose control.
This great new technology, and to have America lead the way in implementing this wonderful, wonderful innovation.
My only reserve with the government being involved with Bitcoin is that I don't know if you guys remember what happened when this happened in the United States, where once we got off the gold reserve, there was a point where we had to basically, like, the government was like, yeah, we're taking your gold. We're buying your gold. Give it up right now. I don't remember exactly when it happened. Maybe we can just use AI real quick and we'll ask it this question. When did the USA take the citizens' gold? It was Franklin Roosevelt. Okay, this was 1933. The United States government under President Franklin D. Roosevelt issued Executive Order 6102 on April 5th, 1933, which required citizens to turn in most of their gold coins, bullion, and gold certificates to the Federal Reserve, baby. Federal Reserve. Look at that, freaking scamming ass. So May 1st, 1933, this was done to combat the Great Depression, which was caused by the bankers and caused by the big families that we know to be named, by preventing gold hoarding, which was believed to be stalling economic growth, and to allow the Federal Reserve, so taking the power away from the people. The people had the gold and they were like, nope, we're taking it because we're going to set up this whole BS system to scam the shit out of you, and to allow the Federal Reserve to increase the money supply, aka print the money, as it was constrained by the gold standard requiring 40% gold backing for the Federal Reserve notes, which means that it was backed by the gold and backed by other assets, so then you could get a 1-to-1 ratio of it. But then they said, no, that doesn't give us the power. It gives you the power as the people. We're not having that. AKA Jekyll Island, my friends. Citizens were compensated at $20 per troy ounce, though the government later raised the gold price to $35 per ounce with the Gold Reserve Act of 1934, effectively devaluing the dollar. Exemptions included up to $100 in gold coins, about 5 troy ounces gold used for industrial, professional, artistic purposes, and rare collectibles, but violators faced fines up to $10,000 and/or 10 years in prison if they didn't comply. The order was enforced with limited prosecutions, and estimated suggests only 20 to 25% of privately held gold was surrendered, indicating widespread non-compliance. Okay, so that's interesting. Private gold ownership remained illegal until December 31st, 1974, when President Gerald Ford signed a bill legalizing it again. But do you see the freaking, like, the switch over here, which basically all because of the Federal Reserve bankers and these banker families all came together and said, and in cahoots with whoever was running the administrations at the time. They basically completely sold us out. They completely sold us out during this time. Because in a way, like, the system wasn't perfect. The money system wasn't perfect, but it seemed like it could have had a lot more sustainability in growth, but they wanted to print more reserve notes. They wanted to complete their ultimate master plan that was created in Jekyll Island, aka the creature, aka the thing that basically runs itself. The debt slave system. Pretty fascinating, my friends. Pretty fascinating. All right, so in other news today, this is going to be a big push catalyst for the markets. This is the stock markets. This is the crypto markets. The markets in general are going to be pumping and possibly front-running a ceasefire peace agreement between Russia and Ukraine. And by God, Trump might just do it. I mean, he might just do it.
Up to the
and you know, honestly, what kind of pisses me off? This is what pisses me off, because when I talk to people about Trump, I'm not a Trump thumper. I'm not like, oh, like Trump's the the savior. Like no one's saving you but the Lord Jesus Christ, by the way, and yourself. So just remember that. But when I talk to people who are so angry about Trump and you mention his name and they're like, they like can't even freaking, they can't even hear the name. It makes me frustrated when they look past all of the actual stuff that they're trying to do to make these peace deals and stop the war. We had so much war and death and destruction and confusion with the Democratic Party for so long, and we get a Republican in and he's trying to stop the wars, and you're still angry? You're still can't see past your blind anger of being completely bamboozled by the mainstream media? Bro is trying to stop people from dying, and you can't even hear his name. You, my friends, have a lot more thinking to do. Okay? Because it's freaking ridiculous. It's crazy. Trying to clean up the freaking cities that have been taken over by, like, criminals. I don't get it. It's freaking crazy to me. So, anyway, there's a potential that Trump could have these dudes talking, finally, Putin and Zelensky, and make the deal and stop the bullshit. Only president that is willing, I think, and honestly capable of doing this. You're like, it's so this is where I at least have some hope. I don't trust Trump 100%. And you shouldn't. No one should trust any of these politicians 100%. But shit, I'm gonna at least be like, yes, go and do these meetings. Make the deal. Go and get these guys talking, because these guys have nukes. They have nuclear weapons. They will destroy everything. And it was this damn close from happening because so many people were focusing on the wrong things.
top of the step of
So there is a potential that we could have a peace deal. this will make the markets react very strong.
There is the president making his way up to the top of the steps there for Air Force One, making a wave to the crowd and entering Air Force One. He has a long flight ahead of him. And there is the president making his way.
Yeah, I mean, it could happen any day now. It could happen any day now. And while we had for 4 years a geriatric president who literally was non-existent, and they were flying rainbow flags everywhere, telling you to ignore everything, everything's fine. No, we're not destroying the economy right in front of your eyes. No, we're not literally stealing your money right in front of your eyes. We're not only making everything about your life harder and making everything about what you do now not safe, because now when you drive and go to whatever wherever you're going, there's a potential that you could get, now there's a higher percentage chance that you're going to get mugged or something's going to happen to you. And all of mainstream media that's literally mostly liberal Democratic run is convincing you that that's not happening, while on actual forums and on actual like news boards and where people are directly on the ground telling you, this city is getting overrun and it is unsafe. I feel unsafe. And they're like, no, you're just fine. What are you talking about? It's super safe. It's super safe. What are you talking about? And then you have thousands and thousands of people saying, my entire apartment complex just got taken over by a gang. And they're like, no, that's not real. No. So thank God we have someone who cares. And I think the administration that Trump has put together, it's not just Trump. So these people, when you mention Trump, they think Trump is the one making all the decisions. It's like, hopefully, I hope that the people that live in America actually want America to be safe and to be prosperous. These other jokers, they obviously don't care about America. They don't. The Elizabeth Warrens, the freaking Chuck Schumers. Yeah, those same people that these Democrats and these liberals or whatever, and they're constantly protecting and defending these people that literally give two shits about them and convinced you to take multiple shots for a virus that was created in a lab that they convinced you was not created in a lab, and then made you think that if you sneezed, you were going to kill grandma. And you still trust these people? And you're defending them? Please stop. But like I said, have a healthy skepticism of all these politicians. The only thing that you need to be trusting is the Lord Jesus Christ and how he is going to be leading you into the right direction of living your life in truth. Because while we were living a damn lie for 4 years and being convinced that if you even mention the fact that there's something off, canceled. You're canceled. Oh, you're racist. So it's like, canceled, you're racist. You're a fascist. No, I'm just a critical thinker, my friends. I'm just a critical thinker. There's a difference. There's a difference between critical thinking and being propagated. There's a difference between being a critical thinker and being propagated to follow exactly what the system wants you to follow. You're racist. I'm racist against stupid people who chirp what the system wants you to chirp at me to get me off my intuition and my instincts. While you are just parroting and repeating what the system would love for you to repeat. So then you can be trapped in that mental prison of yours.
Good morning, everybody. It is my distinct pleasure to welcome Alt 5 Sigma and World Liberty Financial here to ring the opening bell.
We are the fastest growing stablecoin anywhere on earth, and we are really going to rewrite the whole playbook for the financial industry.
We at Alt 5 Sigma Corporation and World Liberty want to thank the amazing team and community here at NASDAQ. This is truly the best stock exchange in the world.
That's what the system does to us. It pins us against each other. It tries to pin us against each other. So then we stop realizing the truth. And then you're like, what truth? That everything is controlled by a system, a matrix system. And you are a participant and also a pawn in that system, whether you like it or not. In your mission is to cut through the lies, the deception, the smoke, the room and hall of mirrors, and get to the truth. Get to the truth. That is your goal, my friends. That is your goal. You gotta get to the truth. Okay. Oh. Well, I hope you guys are having a good day. I hope you're having a good Friday. I know a lot of people are probably feeling a little chopped. I know the markets we're getting bullish, and whenever it gets a little bullish, the market makers, aka Binance and Scamnance and Scambase, they like to flush that leverage. Yeah, lasers. That's why I love crypto so much, is because crypto, it helps you realize the truth. It honestly does. I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be facetious or anything or be a jokester. Like, I really do feel like crypto is a mechanism to help you realize your true potential and freedom. Because you start to move differently. You start to learn more about money. You start to learn about, just the nature of being able to have a little bit more control, decentralization. So we've always just given up our rights and given up everything willingly without doing due diligence. So whenever we start to realize about due diligence, which is basically okay, I know I can buy crypto on an exchange, but I know that if I kept it on an exchange and I didn't read the fine print, guess what? It's not my money. It's theirs. And this is what happened. And what's so cool, now we can actually caveat this. I know I'll land the plane eventually. I'll land the plane. But look, here is a document from the White House, okay? This is Strengthening American Leadership in Digital Financial Technology, which is a whitehouse.gov content report specifically explaining crypto. That's so funny. Yes, I will. Yes, I will do that. Yes, the boss just gave me a mission, and yes, I do hate cheap coffee. I am a little bougie with the coffee, But if you want to get good bulk coffee, you could get it from Costco, and it's the Joffrey's Peruvian. Yeah, nacho keys, nacho cheese, baby. And we're going to get to that. We're going to go through this whole little timeline right here. Perfectly put together and very, very nicely put together by the U.S. government, the White House. This is amazing. Like, I really love this. So we're going to go through this. Give me just a second, guys. Yo. Oh, okay. That's where it is. I'm like searching for this bag of coffee. I'm like, where the hell is this bag of coffee? Oh, okay. And guys, I do want to apologize. I know sometimes when I start talking about Trump and COVID and different presidents and different areas like of our timeline in this existence, where I just feel like people's perception has been so skewed, and it makes me, it gets me really heated. Because when you talk to people about some of these topics, they're focusing on the wrong things. I feel like they're just like, they get so distracted by this issue, like whatever the issue is, and they completely overlook everything else, especially when it comes to Trump. You just say Trump, all logic goes out the window, and they go, orange man bad, orange man bad, orange man bad. He is a fascist. He is a racist. He is this. And it's like, what was Biden? What was Obama? Do you have anything to say about those people? No. You just are so okay with every terrible decision that Obama and Biden, and Biden was the vice president with Obama for freaking 8 years. And then the dude became president with Kamala Harris and caused massive pain and destruction on our freaking country. And you're just going to completely ignore that because the mainstream media is telling you that Trump man bad. Use your freaking brains, people. And I'm talking to you. I'm streaming on Facebook too. I'm streaming on Facebook. I'm talking, and I got one person watching. I hope everyone on my timeline sees this, because I'm so tired of this freaking, like, this program running in people's brains where they can't even give accountability where it's due. No qualms with the Biden family. None at all. Just let them slide. Fauci. Oh my God. Fauci. Can't even begin. But nope, it's all Trump's fault. It's all Trump's fault somehow. But people like that can't be helped. They can't be helped. I don't know what to do with I don't know what to do with people like that. It's just so crazy. It's like you had no accountability for the 12 years. 12 years we were taken advantage of. 100% factual. And you're just okay with that? It's freaking crazy. Good afternoon, Sirius. Do you have the invisibility cloak for me? Oh, here, I'll put on the invisibility cloak. Hold on. But you guys, thank you for bearing with me with my rants. Holy crap! Because when I start to think about that stuff, oh my god, it gets me heated. It gets me heated. It gets me super heated. Shout out to Crystal. Oh my gosh. Holy moly. Sister's in the house. Got the sister in the house. That was a nice surprise. That was a nice surprise message. But yeah, all right, let's get back on track to the price action here. Let's see what's actually happening, because while I was ranting, the market's probably just getting it looks like it's getting cooked a little bit here. Oh, it did get cooked. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, it's all over. We're dumping. It's all over. It's all over. Man, I thought they filled the gap enough. Jeez. Didn't they fill the gap enough? Okay, they might be trying to. Okay, so we did put a line in the sand here. We had a couple levels where like they might. Oh, they might, and that wick does not. I don't like that wick. I do not like that wick. The market makers are really taking advantage of these levels here. All right, so we got Sirius working on the ladder. He's on the ladder today, baking in the sun. You're doing the real work, my friend. We're just over here yelling at the screen. We're just ranting. Not doing anyone any favors. Man, yep, man, that's a what a bull trap. Holy crap. That was a bull trap if we ever saw one. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. Okay, guys, I would say hold the damn line. Just don't make any rash moves or decisions when it comes to trading right now or trying to put in leverage trades, because the market is sandworming. CryptoFace has been given a pretty good example of how, like, you think it's fine, and then all of a sudden the Binance Coinbase sandworm comes in and it goes. And you get cooked. You get completely destroyed. Quicksand, you just fall in a pit of quicksand, and then the sandworm comes in the quicksand. And this is kind of what's happening. So I would say these moments right now are for spot buying, dip buying. So, like, for instance, Arbitrum has been cooking. Radium has been cooking. Me was cooking. Aave cooking, Pingu cooking. Everything was cooking. And now we're taking a little bit of a breather. So that's good though. That's fine. I don't get scared. Don't get scared. Because this is the opportunity. If you're like, see, I'm like, this is great because I just got, got come into some money. We got some cash. We're gonna invest a little bit. We're going to build up the spot bags, and we're gonna have some stables ready on the sides to be able to go into some of these trades. And we have the levels marked, so we do have the levels marked, like we just showed you just a bit ago. We got 114. We got 114, 115, 116, looking like some liquidity sweeps. You can see here, this was where we had previous support. We got some support here, main support right here. So we just got to watch these levels. Could be a decent opportunity to potentially snipe a support long, but we have to be patient. What's interesting though, we're coming into lunchtime here. It's 12:15 Eastern Standard Time. A lot of the times we can get a push in the beginning of the markets, little push, but then during the lunchtime hours, it's just like, I've noticed this at 12 is when they can dump it. They'll just dump it. It's like the lunch break dump. And so this is what's happening right now. We're having a lunch break dump. We're having the lunch hour dump. The hedge funds, the hedge traders, they're off getting their latte, their whiskey latte. They're going to get their whiskey latte, and they're getting dumped on right now. So we might smack right into this level really fast and bounce, go boom, and just off to the races. Doom. Scuba Durable says, bull market's over. Altcoin season was a week this cycle. BTC next level, 20K. See you next cycle. Oh, man. Man, that would be terrible, right? That would be awful. That wouldn't be fun. That wouldn't be fun. But no, I don't see that. I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening right now. I have a little bit more faith that we're still in accumulation. Technically on this chart of the rainbow chart, we're still in accumulation. We're still, look, I mean, we have, I think, going into the end of this year, the opportunity to pull one of these. And so this chart's great. If you've never looked at this chart before, if you've been on this live stream and this channel long enough, we've been pulling this chart up since the beginning. And we've just noticed that after these halvings, we always go in the red. We at least get in the red. So if history kind of rhymes and doesn't fully repeat, because obviously it didn't do exactly the same thing each time, but we just noticed that there is a moment of escape velocity that happens, and it also kind of follows the nature of liquidity too, like the level of liquidity that's in the markets. We know that there's really not very many more places that liquidity that's printed fiat cash. So if you're wondering what liquidity is, it's called fiat cash printed by central banks. Whether it's the United States or Europe or whoever is printing the money, that's where the liquidity's coming. And so where does it go? The obvious choice right now for the institutions and governments, nations, they have no choice really but to go into cryptocurrency. There's no other way. So if you just look at this chart and you just look at this and say, okay, I'm in I'm above accumulation and in the still cheap hodl territory for Bitcoin. That means, given the nature of how this thing usually reacts in between the halvings, it has a peak 550 days average after the halving. We are 420 days out of the halving. We're 420 days out from the halving, according to my chart here. According to my chart, we are 421 days out from the halving. And this is the halving. And where we're sitting at right now, so I want to make sure I'm on the right spot. Oh, no, I went too far. Yeah, we're like 480 days away out from the halving. You bring this where we are now, we still have, technically, to match that, we have about 50 days left. Yeah, the halving was like 482 days ago. Yes. So 482 days ago, around there. The peak that we usually see happens an average, historically, an average of 550 days. So that brings us to a cycle, technically a cycle peak could happen. That's leading us into October, into the end of October. So I put this in November, October, and this could lead me to believe and speculate, dubious speculation, that we would be in the orange, possibly touching up into the red. We hit $200,000 per Bitcoin. We crash to 150. Kind of might look something like that. Crash to 150. And then we push up into quarter one and quarter two next year to $350,000, getting into the red portion. And the rainbow for the particular cycle going in the 4-year halving cycle is complete. And the stock to flow model, Plan B, is right. But I don't think it's going to be topped. That's the thing. That's why when I go back into, it's like, I feel like in October, we will hit a point. I don't know. I mean, it's just like, that's October is the month that every indicator and thing is leading to October being something special. I don't know what it's going to be. Is it that it was just from there, we just start flying? Is that going to be the peak? We'll understand kind of where we're going to top out and cool off for a little bit. Where's the stock to flow? Let's do like Plan B, stock to flow. stock to flow from freaking 2020. No, I want it from stock to flow 2025. Give me recent stuff. What the heck? There we go. Bitcoin monthly RSI almost 75. As expected, we will see RSI at 80 red dots in a real bull market again. Possible. It is possible. So Plan B also has done this too, where he shows you the nature of how Bitcoin does a staircase. It's basically staircase. The billionaires know something. Some of those billionaires know something. It's just like, why would they be like just dumping like so much into these assets right now? And they're giving themselves a lot of exposure as to before they weren't at all. And now they're like chucking it in there. They know something. It's really the retail that doesn't know shit. And we're just like blindsided. And no one's paying attention while we're over here screaming like, get into, just invest. Quarter four. But it's possible. Yeah. So that's Benjamin Cohen's, and that kind of lines up with what we're saying with the kind of 4-year cycle with the peaks, where we could consolidate. But that's the thing. It doesn't mean that the bull market is, quote, over. I just think we could be potentially taking a breather to go to the next leg up, because we have way more liquidity, and kind of the story in the framework and everything is different than it was back then. Both bull market cycles were completely different in the fact that the institutions and governments weren't tripping over themselves to start to get like better regulatory clarity, to start setting up the funds and the treasuries and all that stuff. Like, that was not happening. Completely different market. And then that's when retail had the most interest. When we had the most like no clarity at all. So now we have all the clarity. We have all the billionaires basically telling you that this is the markets that they're going into, and retail is still not here. So, and still not paying attention. So that does lead me to believe that they do know something, and that's why they're going in this direction. And you want to follow smart money. Follow the smart money. Now, Bitcoin does this staircasing. It does this staircasing, this step, and if you look at the dots, that's basically kind of what it does. And we've noticed this on doing this on our chart too, where we just notice the nature of the staircase that Bitcoin is creating here. And that's the nature of the volatility. That's just the nature of the volatility. Am I on Doge? Oh, I thought I hit Bitcoin. Let's go to the Bitcoin chart real quick, and we'll show you, because we have this kind of marked up too, where you can see how this thing starts to do this. So it's kind of doing it right now. It's going doop, boop, 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 boop. And so what I've seen here is somewhat of a pattern. And even going into a bigger, so you can see it on the smaller time frames where it's kind of like micro happening. You can see a staircase. And here you can kind of see a staircase. You can see it kind of goes up, flat lines, goes up, flat lines. That one's a little more extreme. And then I think this is in the point where we're going to get that next leg up. We get the next leg up. We go like this. We're going doot, doot, doot. And then we're going to go doot. And I mean, who knows where we'll stop, but it'll hit a point where we get into this range and then we go like this, consolidate whatever we're going to do, and then we go to the next, and it just continues to go. And when will we see the pullback into the quote bear market? No one knows this time, because it is different this time. The nature of the government, all the stuff with the SEC, the senators, Trump. I mean, just we got Arthur Hayes loading up on altcoins still right now, just loading up the bag. Still buying tons of ETH, Hype, ENA, Lido DAO, Pendle, ETHFi, basically signaling, yo, we're about to bust up into some freaking altcoin territory. And it's okay to say altcoin season without getting a tomato thrown in your face. All right, so let's see what ETH is doing. ETH briefly touched 4,700. It's getting a little bit of a pullback. How far could we pull back? We just have to see. MACD, we got a bearish MACD cross here. We could see a little bit of consolidation. We have some liquidity sitting here. We have liquidity sitting at 4,100 and 4,200. And we have liquidity also on Bitcoin sitting at that level where we had liquidity sitting at 116. So we're watching that. We're watching these areas, 116 and then 4,200 for ETH. That actually might line up too with Marty Party's entry levels, because basically what they're doing right now is they're flushing that leverage. They're flushing that bullish 50x, 100x leverage. So you don't want to get in right here on like these, like on the yellow line. You want to get in under the yellow line. So he's like, you buy on or under the 50% lines. Do not buy or enter above the yellow lines, which are these lines right here. And so you really are wanting to find where the market is going to flush that liquidity and bring it into the lows. You can use this for buying the dip opportunities. And you can see here where that liquidity is sitting at the 116. You can see it right here. It's all sitting right there. Seems obvious. They'll bring it right there and then bring it to the next level that'll liquidate the shorts at 119,000, which basically gives you the liquidation range for your trades. Okay. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to apologize and also not apologize for the rants today. We have 60 people watching on X. We have, how many people watching on YouTube? Let's see. 6 people watching on YouTube? All right, let's go. So Scuba Dribble says, MYX looking like one of the strongest coins right now, banging off the 786 bounce while everything else is tanking. MYX. Okay, let's check that out. MYX. Got, oh, wait. We're going to look at, I guess, the BitGet spot. Yeah, what is this token? I don't know what this token is. Whatever it is, it definitely from the beginning of August has pumped pretty hard. Dang, okay. Sucker, what the heck is this? MYX? MYX. MYX Finance, market cap 287 mil, ranked 166, $1.82. Max supply is $1 billion. The circulating supply is 157 million, so that's not good. That means they will probably unlock, and this thing could dump right into some ranges. So just be careful with this one. Yeah, I mean, look at the unlock schedule. Unlock schedule for the next year. They're going to unlock the crap out of that coin. Private sale investor, 175 million tokens. Yeah, things like this you gotta watch out. Non-custodial derivatives exchange that enables on-chain trading. Okay, so it's derivatives exchange. Okay, so I wonder how compared to this and like things like GMX. I know as GMX, and that was another one, right? GMX. Yep, GMX is very it was like, yeah, there was another one. Nowadays, GMX runs on the Arbitrum and Avalanche blockchain and has expanded to Solana in March 2025 under the name GMX Solana. See this has better tokenomics. There's less of a risk of it dumping really hard. Max supply is 13 million and the circulating supply is 10 million. That means there's 2 million coins that are and you can see the allocation. It's almost 97% unlocked. The GMX the chart doesn't look as pumpy as that other one, the MYX, but this though has a little bit more. It's more established. Like this is from like 2023, or is this a 20? This might have been also, I think, was it this came out in 2022? Because I remember seeing some news and things for GMX and decentralized trading platforms. This is when it was like that narrative for decentralized trading platforms was getting pretty good. But yeah, interesting. Because we saw this thing go to $86. But yeah, I just got reminded of that by you showing me this MYX GMX. Okay. Let's see how some of these. Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like Bitcoin and crypto, and just a lot of it, Bitcoin is going to eat up a lot of liquidity. It's just going to eat it up because at the end of the day, it's like we've said, if you're understanding the nature of inflation and how the dollar is being debased, the dollar is not going to get it's really not going to get stronger. They'll tell you because as Americans and as the politicians, they have to go, well, the dollar's strong. We're going to make the dollar stronger. But really, they're just going to kill it by printing more money and raising the debt ceiling. And so the only place that they can preserve the energy of their own assets and wealth and all that is through Bitcoin. And so once all other governments have already realized this, and they're buying, and so we're kind of like technically we're last in the accumulation race to be able to actually start having Bitcoin as a denominated currency to value our things in America and to value our whole entire financial system. So eventually, we'll be pricing things in sats. Sounds crazy, but it's not that far-fetched. We could be then actually pricing things in reference to its worth in Bitcoin instead of what it's worth in the dollars, because we've seen that a pack of meat What was it? We should pull up that meme. Is it the, let's see, it was like inflation 2.5% meme. Where is it? It's like gun to the head, inflation is 2.5%. Oh, here we go. This is a good example. Let's watch this video. This was August 14th, 2024, so wait. Yeah, this is interesting. This is actually good to watch stuff like this.
I don't know where the government comes up with this 3.5% inflation number, but it's BS. We're out here in the real world. My name's Brian Will. I own 4 restaurants. I can tell you that in February, chicken breast was $1.64 a pound. Now it's $2.22 a pound. That's a 27% increase. Ground beef was $3.87 a pound. Now it's $4.45 a pound. 13% increase. Cheese is up 11%. Ribeye up 25%. Avocados up 50%. These are core staple items in a restaurant, and our average inflation-induced increase is over 20% just in the last 6 months. I would love it if it was only 3.5%, but that's just not real world. So do we raise our prices? Do we cut employees? Do we cut critical services? What are businesses supposed to do in this nonsense 3.5% inflation environment? It's just not real.
My friends, do you understand how important this video is? Pay attention. Pay attention. So now when you buy Bitcoin right now, and it's at $116,000, and you hold it for a year. You hold it for a year. I wonder where it will be. And how much you will be able to purchase with said Bitcoin. How much you'll be able to purchase. So you say you put in $2,000. And in a year, you get 70%, maybe you get a 70% return. I don't know. It's year over year. I mean, it's been an average of 70%. So you just protected yourself from what this guy just explained, and what we've been explaining through this live stream off and on, is that 2.5% inflation is BS. It's BS. Things have gone up 15, 25, 30%. Groceries, you know this, guys. When you go to the grocery store, on average, the average grocery bill used to be that you could potentially feed your family of 3, 4, average family size, family of 4, for about $500 a month. That's reasonable. $500 a month grocery bill. That's meaning you're getting your dry goods, you know, just all the basics and your staples and things like that. You are able, you know, I think $500 is pretty doable. Do you guys understand that now you're spending $500 and it's only week 2? It's only week 2. And you're like, how the freaking hell did I just spend $500 and I'm only in the second and 2.5 weeks into the month? It's because shit's expensive. It's because inflation is a lot higher than 2%. So, and this was in 2024, so it's not gotten any better. So yeah, like this guy said, we're in the real world over here, while the Fed is doing a $4 billion building renovation. For what? For what? What do you need $4 billion for a building? For what? You just print the freaking money, guys. What do you need a $4 billion building for? For your committee? Get the hell out of here. You better divvy that shit up in a STEMI check right now, Jerome Powell. Better stimmy that $4 billion up. You don't need no damn new building. What do you need a new building for? Your work you could do from home. You can ruin the economy from your desk at home, Jerome Powell. That's why President Trump went over there and said, what are you guys doing? You destroyed the economy, and now you're going to build a building and renovation for $4 billion? You, my friend, are fired. You're fired. Man, we're getting lit up. We're getting lit up today. We're on one of our 2-hour rant streams. Oh no, guys, watch out. Watch out. We're tuning in. We're vibing in. We're checking in. Make sure you guys go to danocrypto.com. Go to danocrypto.com. You can get the bubbles here. Hype looking good. Arrow looking good. Aerodrome. Liquidity provider. On base. Super high liquidity on base. What else is going? Trump token 1.2%. Recently, Canary Capital is filing the Pingu ETF, which has the connection with the actual Pudgy Penguins NFT collection and the coin. And then also same Canary Capital is trying to file for a Trump ETF, which could potentially have also maybe some connections with the Trump cards. Maybe they'll, have a basket of Trump cards also with the Trump token, and they'll be issuing ETFs for the value of these meme coins. Again, meme coin economy getting to $1 trillion. Pepe, Dogecoin, SHIB, all these legacy coins are going to lead the way for things like Pingu and Trump and all the other, like Floki. And then you start getting down into the more, speculative stuff like with Wojak and ticker Bitcoin. But you have to make that choice of what you're going to risk and what you are paying attention to. So for me, I'm paying attention to ticker Bitcoin, Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic, 10 Inu. Shout out to the egregore. We're also paying attention to Wojak. I think Wojak is severely undervalued. These are the ETH memes I'm paying attention to. Pepe. So Pepe, Wojak, and ticker Bitcoin. And what's funny is that, yeah, okay, I don't care. Yeah, they're from 2 years ago. Well, yeah, you don't get it. Because those were the starting points of us getting bullish meme coins again. And if you look at the chart, these highs were accomplished with Ethereum basically trading like garbage. These coins on Ethereum were able to do this price action while Ethereum was basically bleeding into Bitcoin with the ETH BTC ratio just bleeding, and they still managed to do this. So why would I think that the legacy coins on the Ethereum ecosystem are just all of a sudden just going to be like, well, I guess I give up. I guess I just give up. Well, ETH is at 10K. I just give up. No, like ETH slamming 10K is, I think, going to potentially make these things go freaking parabolic. And we just have to be patient. It's not about leverage trading. It's about buying spot low and selling high. That is what we're here to do. And we're here also to be retarded and freaking and possibly round trip stuff as well. Because at the end of the day, we all have no freaking idea what's going to happen, but we're all hedging and risking our bets and have to believe in something. Because for shit, I'm not going to believe in the fiat system. Will you put your trust in the fiat system and the Federal Reserve? You not buying crypto and not investing is saying that you trust the Federal Reserve more than you trust yourself. That's what you're saying. You're saying you trust that the Federal Reserve has your best interest in mind. That is literally what you're telling yourself and what you're doing if you're not investing or having a plan to invest and gain assets in the digital economy. You are saying that I trust the US dollar and I trust the Federal Reserve and I trust the IRS. I'm going to put my trust in the freaking meme economy and these digital assets and internet money and internet economy, attention economy. That's what I'm going to put my trust in. Well, happy Freaky Friday, everyone. Happy Freaky Friday, everyone. We're getting ready to so I'll tell you guys what we're buying. Before we end the stream, I'm going to tell you guys what we're buying. This is what we're going to DCA into today, okay? This is what we're going to DCA into today. We might DCA like around $250, $300. We're going to buy some Pulse Chain. We're going to buy some PLSX. We're going to buy some incentive token. And we're going to buy some Hex. We're also going to buy some Wojak. We're going to buy some ticker Bitcoin. And we're going to buy some Pepe. We're just going to DCA all that stuff. And that's what we're going to do today, my friends. We're going to DCA our little booty off today. And we're going to remind you guys of what our little list is. This is what we're very much interested in. We're interested in Optimism, Arbitrum, Dogecoin, Brett, Medieval Empires, the Me token. We got to do a little more research on IMX, but IMX is the back end of a lot of crypto gaming ecosystems and NFTs and all the infrastructure. So I kind of like that one. I want to start. I don't want to start actually accumulating this one now because I haven't actually started to buy it yet. But yeah, that's the one for like back end ecosystems for gaming. Nakamoto Games, Dogecoin, Polygon, XYO. Like, look, we just did some. We actually posted some TA on XYO here. Just as a friendly reminder, we noted the 2021 bull market top. We have a Fibonacci extension pulled from the high to the low of the bear market. We have established support at 0.0073 and above that sitting at 1 cent here on the price box here. We barred the move from here to here and correlated it with the Fibonacci extension for XYO getting up to the 0.786 here. The 0.786, which is the resistance. We have some resistance sitting at 0.04. Some resistance sitting at 0.04. And then we also have potential new resistance that will hit. That is at the 0.07 right here, 7 cents. And I think ultimately for the nature of the trend line here, we'll be hitting a 10 to 14 to 15 cents XYO going into the altcoin season. Because when we are in altcoin season, things like this are very much on the table. It's a bullish chart. So yeah, we're bullish XYO. AVAX, we're really bullish AVAX. AVAX actually with this little pump here yesterday was really, I mean, it was cranking. It was giving us a little signal that we could potentially still be bullish AVAX and we could get close to the 2021 bull market high. From there, from where we're at now, we go to bull market all-time high. That's a 500% move to the upside. I mean, it's pretty substantial. So if you're willing to hold through the volatility, AVAX would be a really good return. Then we're obviously interested in Pepe. We're very interested in Crow. We have Crow locked up in crypto.com, and we actually have it locked up till next year. So it's almost like we have no choice. So it'll be cool to see what the Crow balance is at the end of the year. We're bullish Sol. I think Sol is going to not crush into $1,000 just yet, but I think it will go to $1,000. But I think Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to be stealing a little bit of the show. And then once that cools off a little bit, then I think we're going to see XRP, Solana, BNB, Cardano get a little bit of a pumpage, get a little action, and then we'll see what happens. Okay. Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10 Inu, I've told you, bullish ticker Bitcoin. It's my favorite meme on Ethereum. And then we're bullish ETH and Bitcoin. Yeah, so that's our portfolio. It's pretty standard. You know, we don't have too many coins. It's just like 15 coins. We had a Grok actually grade our portfolio and the performance and the, where is it? Here, let me go to... There it is. Okay. Let's see. So I graded my portfolio. It says grading the portfolio. So using the grading criteria outlined earlier, alignment with the goal. So the portfolio aligns with an aggressive growth goal with significant exposure to high upside assets like Sol, meme coins, and small caps. However, the lack of clear investor goals, income versus growth, slightly lowers the score. So I have a B+ on the alignment with the goals. Risk to return balance, I get a B. It's 40% in BTC and ETH balance. It poses a risk, while mid caps like Sol and AVAX offer growth with moderate risk. However, the 23% in meme coins and losses in Brett, IMX, Ponky, Naka, and Optimism increase volatility, reducing the score. The diversification, I got a B. Diversification across large cap, mid cap, memes, small cap assets is strong, but the heavy meme coin allocation, which I'm kind of more risk on with the memes, is in speculative assets suggest overexposure to high risk categories. Cost efficiency is an A, so no evidence of high fee structures, managed funds, direct holdings on exchanges or wallets suggest low cost. So yes, I'm holding all this stuff on my wallets. Liquidity and flexibility is an A. Most assets are highly liquid, but small allocations and less liquid tokens like the Me, Brett, Ponky, Naka slightly reduce the flexibility. So overall, I got a B. So I think that's a pretty fair assessment of my portfolio. I get like an 80, an 80% out of 100. The strengths is that I have strong anchors in BTC, ETH, diversified mid-cap exposure, and some high-performing speculative assets like XYO and Me, which have seen really good growth recently in some of these euphoric points. Weakness is that I do have a pretty risky overexposure to meme coins and significant losses in Brett, IMX, Ponky, Naka. Optimism suggests poor entry. Timing over speculation. So I would say it does suggest that it was some bit of poor timing, and obviously we had the Trump dump after the pump and altcoins going down 90% or more, 100%, going from January into March and April, and just until now finally got, over the past 2 months have gotten the bounce. So we asked, what are the chances of a 10x return? So a 10x return increases from $14,000 to $140,000, requires a 900% gain, implying a compound annual growth rate of 26% over 20 years, 48% over 10 years, or 145% over the next 5 years. So this is where I think we could be seeing the 150% over the 5 years, to where the portfolio could 10x in the next few years. The historical context is that Bitcoin's best 10-year periods yielded 500% returns, not 900%, even with the optimistic 2025 forecast of $185,000 per Bitcoin alone is unlikely to 10x, obviously, from 119,000. Ethereum could reach 6,000, 36% gain from 4,400, but a 10x would require $44,000, which is beyond most projections. Meme coins like Bitcoin and Pepe have shown extreme gains historically. Bitcoins, ticker Bitcoins, 658,000% from its low, but their volatility makes sustained 10x gains unreliable. Mid caps like Sol, the $500 price projected, is 180% gain, and small caps like XYO and Me could deliver outsized returns if their ecosystems grow significantly. So the time horizon, a 10x return is more feasible over the next 10 to 20 years, but over 5 years, it's highly speculative due to the portfolio's aggressive tilt. And so the Monte Carlo simulation estimate is assuming historical volatility and returns, BTC 8 to 12%, ETH 10 to 15, Sol 15 to 20, meme coins 50 to 100 with high variance. This simulation suggests a 5% probability of a 10x return in 5 years, 10% in 10, a 20% in 20 years, contingent on meme and small cap assets delivering outsized gains. It says the portfolio's 34% high-risk assets increase variance, making extreme outcomes, 10x or significant loss possible but not probable. But what it says, conclusion, the portfolio is well diversified across large cap, mid cap, memes, small cap assets with a strong anchor in BTC and ETH, a reasonable mid cap exposure, which is 33%. However, the 23% in meme coins and significant losses in those tokens, whereas kind of it was grading me on the portfolio that I copied from CoinMarketCap. It says, earning it a B grade. The chance of a 10x return is low. It says 5% in 5 years. I think that's inaccurate. I think that's a little harsh. 10% in 10 years due to the high required and reliance on speculative assets. So reducing meme coin exposure and focusing on high growth mid caps like Sol could improve risk adjusted returns while preserving upside potential. But remember, Grok is not a financial advisor, and no AI is a financial advisor, by the way. You are smarter than the AI. Always remember that. You're always smarter than the AI. You're the one training it. You are the one training it, okay? And guys, thank you so much for reposting. You guys are doing amazing. This was funny. Jason Casper asked, what's a conspiracy theory you secretly think might be true, and are birds real? And I said, Paul McCartney died in a car crash before the Rubber Soul album came out, and he was replaced by a guy named William Campbell. Start going down the rabbit hole, my friends. Start going down the rabbit hole, and your reality will be forever broken. You won't believe anything anymore. The whole world's a stage. The whole world's a stage. Rush. The whole world's a stage. Exit stage left. Exit stage left, my friends. Exit stage left. All right, we have successfully streamed for 2 hours. We showed you the charts. We showed you the thesis. We showed you some clips. We showed you a little bit of the news. We showed you the levels that we could potentially be hitting for Bitcoin. And so, with that, my friends, I will leave you to it. We are going to be streaming later tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to have some fun. We're going to have some fun. God bless every single one of you. May the light of the Lord Jesus Christ shine on you and your family. Make sure you guys are not freaking out and that the economy is going on chain and there's nowhere else for them to go. So let's stay here long enough to see the rewards and to see what happens. I think we were just for too long playing the short game and thinking, you know, this is something we need to be trading. No, this is something this is like a whole complete different type of financial revolution we're experiencing here, my friends, and we really don't need to be shaken out of it. We got to really lock in. We got to really lock in, my friends. But all right. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Dang, this wallet is stacked right now. Holy moly. This is the World Liberty Financial Wallet. It's worth now $278 million. They have so much stuff staked in here. Woo, it's crazy. And retail is not even they don't even know. They just like don't even know at all like that this stuff is just like, man. But it's okay. But that's why we have this channel. That's why we're trying to make content. We're trying to help people. And when we talk to our friends, we talk to people, we try and not be too annoying about talking about crypto, but we at least just want to, you know, give people a chance. Give people a chance. But yeah, take care, everyone. Have a good rest of the day. We really appreciate you again. Just hit that like button on the way out. Hit that like button on the way out. Share this live stream. If you're watching on X and you have been enjoying the live stream, just hit that like button on the way out. Woo! You just you go to the stream and let's pull up the stream. And you just hit that. You just share it. You just share it. Hit the heart button. We already had 3 reposts, so make sure you bookmark it, hit that heart, repost it, so other people can see it. And yeah, thanks, guys. Let's see if altcoin season is really real. Let's see if we can really reel it in. We don't want to keep calling for altcoin season over and over again. It's just, I think it's the nature of like content creators and crypto. We just want to continue to keep calling for altcoin season because then when it eventually does happen, we'll go, we were right. We were right. Oh, all right, guys. Thank you again. We'll see you later tonight. We'll see you at 7:30. Sharp. 7:30. Eastern Standard Time. Sharp. Be there or be square.
This token game. It's a shitcoin. I mean, imagine telling your coworkers you're quitting because Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you coin. Boom! Imagine the media reporting on Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you. Ticker is Bitcoin, breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead and visit
hposni.com.
Hey everyone. I just wanted to show you a really quick metric that I found fascinating. So 41% of the people that have been watching this channel and actually liking the channel and the content have not subscribed. 41% of you, but I will say 58% of you subscribed. Amazing. You guys are doing awesome. But I want to say that the people that are not subscribed yet, please, won't you consider subscribing to the channel and joining the Dojo crew, where we are educating ourselves. We're in the markets every single day. We're live streaming Monday through Friday, and we're also posting content on a daily basis that is keeping up with these cryptocurrency markets. And this is where the money is flowing right now, guys. So if you want to get these updates and you want to be ahead of the game, I suggest you start subscribing and dinging the bell to be notified whenever I go live and post content, because you do not want to miss it.